gimbals to hold the ramrod. The fore end of the stock needs protection, just as the butt does. And to do this, he makes a piece called a muzzle cap from one piece of brass. After the curve is formed in the swage, the end is hammered into shape without leaving any wrinkles in the middle. A stud dovetailed onto the end of the barrel is threaded to hold the muzzle cap on. This rifle is more elegant than most guns of the colonial period. After the Revolution, embellishment became much more extensive. In either case, the style in carving wood, like that in engraving metal, was based on the use of C and S scrolls and shell, flower, and leaf patterns, though in carving the foliage tended to be more extensive and stylized than in engraving.
A molding is cut along the lower edge of the stock to make the butt more graceful. Cutting away the background smooth and flat is the most difficult part of relief carving. In designing carving, like engraving, I try never to repeat any design exactly. I like the carving to be different from gun to gun. This makes it more interesting for me. The carving and the molding slenderize and give the gun more grace, particularly around the lock and tang. This is the most critical part of the gun. You tend to look from here back or from here forward. You have to carry your lines through this area and try to keep it from looking bulky. You can do this by having your molding lines run lengthwise. Also, having your wood in more than one plane helps.
A 1776 ad in the Virginia Gazette runs, "Stolen from the subscriber on his march from Augusta to Williamsburg at New Kent Courthouse, a very neat rifle gun, the stock of sugar tree curled, made pretty dark by Aquafortis." Aquafortis is another name for nitric acid. Various substances can be dissolved in it to make stains. In this case, Mr. Gustler has dissolved some of his iron filings. The application of heat turns the maple a deep reddish brown. Linseed oil is rubbed into the stock and the excess wiped off. After several applications of this, his finish has depth and translucency. You feel you can almost see into the wood.
The rear sight, made of iron, usually has a very fine notch. The front or foresight is made of silver with an iron base. Some are made of brass, some of horn or bone. A light material is used because it shows up bright in the woods, especially early in the morning or late in the afternoon.
Outside of military arms, guns were not made in standard calibers as we know them today. So for each rifle he made, the gunsmith had to make a matching bullet mold. Calibers in the 18th century were designated by the number of bullets that could be made from a pound of lead. Here he is casting bullets to use in testing the gun and in adjusting the sights. To load a rifle, a measured charge of powder is poured down the barrel. The patch is lubricated with tallow or moistened in the mouth and laid across the muzzle. The ball is placed on top of it and rammed down on the powder charge. The priming charge is put into the pan and the steel dropped into position. We have seen a remarkable craftsman do a remarkable thing. He started with some crude bars of iron, a plank, and a basket of scrap brass. He has worked with these materials for over 300 hours, with tools he himself made and with the combined skills of the blacksmith, machinist, foundryman, woodworker, and engraver. Mr. Gussler has shown us what it means to be a master of his craft. He has created a flintlock rifle like those that helped establish our independence and enabled free men to feed and protect their families in the wilderness. But there is more. This rifle is the work of a thoughtful and sensitive man who has brought many elements into a harmonious balance so that every part flows together with grace and style. For, like many gunsmiths before him, Wallace Gussler also believes a rifle can be a thing of beauty.